Guys, we have an urgent information coming out. Do me a favor and share this video. Once again, thank you so much for your support. A map shows 35 cities where anti-ICE protests have erupted across the US. 19 states, 35 cities, hundreds of arrests, and thousands of military troops deployed. The Independent has mapped out where anti-immigration demonstrations have sprung up across the U.S. 19 states and 35 cities. Man, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let me just read this part really quick here. Los Angeles might be the epicenter of unrest after protests erupted in the wake of a string of raids by ICE agents on Friday. Now, demonstrations have been sparked across the country, with dozens reported in at least 19 states since Friday. The first protests followed after crowds attempted to thwart ICE agents' detention efforts in downtown Los Angeles last week. The following morning, President Donald Trump was accused of causing fresh chaos after deploying National Guard and eventually mobilizing the U.S. Marines on Monday evening. Before I start, guys, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 U.S. Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Guys, a little, again, for those of you that don't know, I'm planning on taking a few days off this week. Again, my birthday's coming up, and I haven't taken days off in like 6 years. And for those of you that have been following me, we've been posting videos since 2016, almost 10 years already. So I decided to take at least 2 days off, but I did left a GoFundMe birthday bash support for those of you. You don't have to, but for those of you that want to send like a birthday gift to Lewis, again, the link GoFundMe will be in the comments box. If you don't prefer GoFundMe, we do have the PayPal link in the description box. Thank you again for the early birthday wishes, and also for the Father's Day. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. This days off is gonna help a lot, especially with all this news. Sometimes you just need to take a rest. Dozens of demonstrations have erupted around the country, both in solidarity with the Los Angeles protesters and as a form of broader protest against the Trump administration immigration crackdown. The Independent has identified anti-ICE protests in at least, look at this, 35 U.S. cities since Friday, with the majority occurring on Monday and Tuesday. 35 U.S. city. I mean, the big ones is Los Angeles, and then you have New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, Austin, Seattle, Portland. But again, there's been multiple cities. All right, so last night it was brutal. So here's a map. Where have anti-ICE protests taken place? Well, the Los Angeles protests have sparked nationwide action since Friday in over 35 cities so far. At least 3 cities, St. Louis, Seattle, Indianapolis, may see more protests today. So the big one is the red, all right? You see the red one? So you have New York there. You have, what is that, Georgia? Oh, yeah, Atlanta. You have Atlanta, Chicago, all right? And it seems like Nevada is also in the picture. And then you have Los Angeles, which is the biggest one. The black one means protest. So you have, you got a whole bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. All right, so 28 black dots there. The yellow one means upcoming protest, which it seems like St. Louis and Indianapolis could be the next one. So this is the map here. This is an updated, this is coming out June 11, 2025. All right, so once again, this is very concerning. And protests reported up to 5 a.m. Eastern Time as of June 11, 2025. Man. Now it says here, so far, there have been spread across 19 states, with the highest concentration in California, Texas, and Pennsylvania. Now it says here, give me a second. For some reason, I'm way too big in this one here. Okay, so it says here, according to the New York Times, cities across the U.S. braced for more protests on Wednesday, with multiple marches planned in Mission Viejo, Eugene, Raleigh, St. Louis, San Antonio, Indianapolis, and Seattle. The nationwide demonstration have varied in size, with some cities reporting dozens or hundreds of protesters. Man. Meanwhile, others have seen thousands of protesters take to the streets, with the National Guard called into two cities and hundreds of arrests nationwide. Chicago, Illinois. Thousands of protesters marched through downtown Chicago on Tuesday. Demonstrations were largely peaceful, but Fox News reported that some protesters vandalized police vehicles and were involved in altercations. Look, I mean, this is why I tell people, stay away from all this. Stay away from these movements. All right, you don't want to get involved in this. Look, stay home. Stay home. It's a lot better. On Tuesday night, a car plowed through crowds of protesters in the downtown area. The driver allegedly ignored police attempts to stop the car. According to the network, there have been no reported injuries. All right, so we're going to go with the next state here. Denver, Colorado. Hundreds gathered outside the Colorado Capitol in Denver on Tuesday, according to the CBS News, for largely peaceful protest. That's how it begins. You know, it's like peaceful, but then when the sun goes down, the wolves comes out. And they come out dressed in black, and they always have backpacks on them for some reason. Reports say that the protesters spilled into the streets, but no widespread unrest was reported. Later that evening, Denver police reportedly used smoke and pepper balls to disperse the crowd. In nearby Aurora, home to Colorado's only ICE detention center, an additional 150 people joined the protest, to local news report. All right, so that's Denver. Now we're going to jump to New York. And boy, oh boy, New York was huge. You guys seen all that video? I mean, on X, I mean, man, it was just a whole different ballgame. I don't understand why these states don't activate, curfew or something. They just let it happen. Around 20 anti-ICE protesters were also led away by police in New York, following demonstration in Manhattan on Monday. Now, the following morning, 24 people were arrested during a sit-in protest at Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. Clashes broke out between police and protesters near an ICE office on Tuesday, which saw demonstrators thrown to the ground as police tried to handcuff them. Others lobbed water bottles at them. Guys, I don't have the heart to do something like that. Like, throw something at the law enforcement. The Bible says that we must respect the high authorities. When you do something like that, you're going against the law that God put out there. Remember Apostle Paul? He got whipped really bad, and he says something. He says something out of anger, and they told him, "You don't speak like that to the leader of this country." And Paul turned around, and Paul's like, I didn't know he was the leader. I'm sorry. And again, Paul is trying to teach us that yes, sometimes these, what could be, sometimes, annoy us, but we must respect the high authority. We must pray for them. Even Daniel, remember Daniel and his friends and many Israelites were taken by the Babylonians soldiers. They took them to Babylon, and King Nebuchadnezzar, again, they had to be under King Nebuchadnezzar empire, and Daniel respected King Nebuchadnezzar. All right. So again, you must respect the high authority. Now, I'm not saying Donald is Caesar or King Nebuchadnezzar. You have to respect the authority, the higher power, the law enforcement, the leaders, whether they're good or bad, because God allowed them to be in that spotlight. God is the one that's going to seek revenge. All right. So again, please try to respect the law enforcement. Don't be throwing stuff. Again, this is like Old Testament, people throwing rocks. And that's not how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to, Jesus commanded us to pray for our enemies and to feed the poor and to pray for the sick, not to throw objects. Atlanta, Georgia. A rally began on Monday outside the ICE office in Atlanta with protesters calling for the end of immigration raids and the release of detained union leader David thwart in California. Hundreds of protesters gathered Tuesday night along Buford Highway in Brookhaven. Many carry signs and chanted in English and Spanish during the march, denouncing the Trump administration's stringent deportation efforts. Officials say that they arrested 6 after protesters failed to leave after the rally's designated cutoff point and clashed with law enforcement officials. See, that's not the law enforcement fault. People's being too defiant. If they tell you to leave, if they tell you to move! Just move! But they want to stand there, get out the way. They're warning you. Do you violate your probation officer? What happens if you violate your parole? What happens? If your parole tell you to jump, if you don't jump, you violated parole. The judge is going to throw you in jail. If they ask me, if my probation officer tell me, Lewis, jump, I'm going to ask how high. He or she is going to respond as high as you can. And I'm going to keep jumping and jumping. So, you got to respect the enforcement, the law. What is happening in Los Angeles? Key places, the LA protests taking place. The first protest erupted on Friday in the wake of a wave of ICE raids in downtown Los Angeles, before expanding to Paramount and Compton. Peaking Sunday as the National Guard was deployed. More unrest was reported in downtown LA on Monday. So these are the area, I believe the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, has, announced curfew in that zone right there and all that area there. So the protests in LA are expected to enter their 6th day on Wednesday. More than 700 Marines awaited deployment in Los Angeles on Wednesday, marking the latest escalation of Donald's response to immigration raid and protests. At least 378 have been arrested by LAPD alone, police confirmed on Tuesday morning. So we almost done with this one. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, enforced a curfew in a portion of downtown LA in response to looting and vandalism, with the LA Police Department stating that it made mass arrests after the restriction was imposed. The curfew was in place from 8 a.m. Tuesday to 6. Something is wrong here. No. The curfew was in place from not 8 a.m., 8 p.m., Tuesday to 6 a.m. Wednesday local time. So the administration is now considering troop deployments to other cities as protesters against immigration and custom enforcement intensify in New York, Chicago, Austin, and Denver. Wow, so it seems like there's going to be other cities that's going to see it. National Guards. And out of all those states that I just brought up, 19 other states, only, well, none of these governors activated National Guards. So these states, the governors, where they at? What you guys gonna do? You just the governor of New York. You saw your NYPD. I mean, man, there were. It was. I mean, it was like World War III going on there. What are you gonna do? You gonna let NYPD get hit like that? That's why Donald is stepping in and sending the National Guard, because you got those defiants that's not looking up to the commander in chief. They just telling commander in chief, we're not with you, and that's the problem. That's why instead of united, it's divided, and things are not looking good for this land. Thank you so much for watching. Please pray for each other. Pray for many people. We need God back. Man, we need God back. We need Jesus. Please stay away from these movements. Stay away from them and stay home and pray for the people. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Once again, guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on this platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for he's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.